everybody? It's Austin Holloman, your favorite YouTuber here in Lisbon, Portugal. Like the video, subscribe if you have not already. Now, guys, we have talked about this topic of bottom feeder women, poor women, versus women that are doing. And bottom feeder women is a mindset as well, right? I mean, somebody could be impoverished and just not made it yet. But if you're a bottom feeder, that means you just got a fucked up mindset. Now, comparing them to women that don't necessarily have to be rich, but they can afford to live on their own, or they don't need you to pay for every single thing. For example, a woman that, every other date, if not every date, she can go half with you. Not, I don't require that. I don't date women that I don't take women places that I can't pay for anyway. Right? If I'm not gonna take a chick to Roof Chris 7 nights a week, twice a day, if I can't afford to spend $400 a day on fucking food. Now, there is a major difference in experience to dating women from impoverished backgrounds versus women that are maybe in a first world country that are not impoverished. That doesn't mean there aren't any poor people in these first world countries, but obviously if the country's more developed, less people are going to be in poverty. That's just how it works. It's not even up for discussion. Now, I feel I can speak on this topic because I've dated here in Lisbon. I've only been here a couple of days. I'm having a good time. But I've been here in Lisbon, Portugal. I've been to Romania, which is not technically considered first world. But, I mean, compared to going to, Colombia or going to Bolivia, it's a lot more money in Romania than it is there. And I've been in Poland. Places like that, and even if we go to some of the poor countries that I've been to where I've dated women that had more, they were probably just an upper class in that society. But also another place in Latin America that I went to that wasn't impoverished was Montevideo, Uruguay, and I dated women there. And if you guys don't know about Montevideo, Uruguay, it is basically like being in the United States when it comes to cost of living and development. It's just in far South America. Everything else is different, but when it comes to those two things, it's the same thing. Now, in first world countries, usually these women are in stable economies, right? The United States has a stable economy. That's why they use the U.S. dollar, because it's you have a Brazilian real. The shit fluctuates so much. When I was in Argentina buying cigars, their economy is so unstable. They never put prices of the cigars because they would have to change it daily. So I don't think it's up for discussion either. We talk about, you can say what you want about the United States does have a stable economy. Yeah, you haven't been anywhere. Europe and the United States and Australia, those places are known for their economies to be very stable. That's the reason why people want to go to those countries, so they can at least feel like they have an equal opportunity and a shot at success. Not even up for discussion. On the opposite end, if you go to third world countries, hold on. If you guys go to third world countries, sorry, I'm not editing this video, I'm just not. If you guys go to third world countries where places like Colombia, where it's unstable, unsafe, you're going to run into more women that do desperate things. That does not mean all the women in Colombia are like that. There's desperate women in first world countries. We know that. It's just not as bad because we have food stamps in the States and we have Section 8, we have government assistance. But whenever you are in places and you're dealing with women that are in an unstable point in their life, which is usually, like if you're dating in Brazil, most of you guys, let's be honest, especially you black dudes, y'all are dating women from the favelas, right? So they don't have much. So when you go out with those women, it is expected for you to pay, which I believe you should pay no matter where you're at, right? That's how I was raised, which was to pay for things. I guess I have a less traditional way of growing up. You are expected to pay for everything. Like, not just that date. You got to get the fucking Uber. Her dog, or I guess she can't afford a dog, but she needs a school pencil. Like, you're her boyfriend. She can't even get her own fucking school pencil. Like, little stuff like when you start dating these poor, and I'm telling you from experience, when you start dating these poor women, you run into those things. And another thing is, they are usually going to be the women that are interested in you marrying them so you can take care of them. Versus when you are in first world countries, like somewhere like Portugal or somewhere like Canada or somewhere in the United States, more liberal countries that are less traditional, those women are gonna just want to pretty much hook up. They don't want they want you to they want this power couple thing. You know, they want you to build a career and be Jay-Z and Beyonce. If you ask me, the motherfuckers is delusional. I don't really think that's how the world works. That has not worked for centuries. The traditional roles that you get in third world countries, I would agree, are more of a better option. You know, they don't do like, for example, Colombia is traditional. Like the guys that go down there, I heard Love Crossing Borders say it's like the Colombian women that most of us are sleeping with when we go there are kind of just like thoughts, right? Like the typical Colombian chick doesn't do that. Even in places like Paraguay, like yeah, you can hook up there, but those women are not gonna stick around for long if you're not looking for a relationship. I mean, you kind of gotta have a relationship. It's nothing to do in that country at all. So I mean, you gotta. That's a relationship would definitely keep you occupied because it ain't nothing else to do there. But casual dating is what you're gonna get when you date chicks that have more money, I would say. Like even in these traditional, I've noticed upper class women that I've dated in Sao Paulo, it was more of a casual thing. They don't really have any end goal in sight. Like the poor chicks have a motive when they date you. Like they know when they first meet you what they want as the end result. They know what they want as the end result. When you dating chicks that have a good job, they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna see where this goes, because they don't need a man to actually take care of them. Which I mean, hey, I don't give a damn. I mean, if she wants to take care of herself, she can take care of herself. But for me, I was raised to take care of women, so that's up to them. Usually it's less family involvement when you're dating a first world woman, and when you're dating women in third world countries, second world countries where it's not as poor, where it's more poor and it's more traditional, usually you do get to meet the family. Like I don't recall meeting too many women's family members in the States. But when I started going to other countries, yes. Even though I'm just doing a lot of hooking up, I still have met a lot of family members outside the United States. Now, one thing that somebody brought up that I don't agree with is that in first world countries, direct communication is more direct. In first world environments as opposed to third world is less direct. I call bullshit on that, because I just told you, if you date women in poor conditions, they're usually direct about what they want from you, because they know that bullshitting around doesn't do that. Those chicks in the States well, at least I guess, maybe, I don't believe it, but they can take care of themselves. They don't act like it, but they can take care of themselves. They don't act like it. But the most games you will run into is from women that live in cities or countries that have more to offer. So like even in Montevideo, Uruguay, it's a lot of little stuff that just wasn't, it was more games I noticed there and in Sao Paulo and in the States than I noticed whenever I was in Nairobi, which is not as economically stable as a place like Montevideo, Uruguay, or the United States. But in this day and age, some people think that it's less dating apps going on. Honestly, I think that you have a better chance of dating using dating apps in third world countries than you do in first world. I think the first world countries have capitalized on these dating apps so much that they don't even work. For example, you guys remember when I went back to the United States and I tried to use Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge. We're not gonna say Hinge, but when I tried to use Bumble and Tinder, I was getting like one like a week. And I was just in my profile looks really good, better than yours, I bet. But I was just in the other countries and like I'm getting like 50 likes a week without even swiping. And this is now they're desperate. No, it wasn't because of that smart ass. It just works better in other countries. So I think that's better as well, but that you can use it better in third world countries. Now, Women's rights are out of control in first world countries. I hate it. I'm not saying that I hate the fact that women have rights. I hate the fact that it's went from women's rights to we have our rights, now let's take away men's rights, is where it's at now. I hate that part. It's ridiculous. Now, whenever you come to Brazil, they're trying to do that, right? They're trying to do that. It's not there yet. But when you go to Brazil, you go somewhere in Africa, or you go somewhere in Southeast Asia, the whole women's rights things are that's lower on their priority list. Especially how they see as happening in the West and like Europe, Australia, United States, Canada. They see what's happening to those countries with this whole feminism thing. And they're starting up, especially in Africa, they're like Kenya, they're pushing back on that kind of stuff. Like, we don't want that over here. We don't want y'all to spread that and fuck up our countries. And so that's a benefit of dating in third world, second world countries, however you may say it. Women in first world countries want to be more independent. Like I told you guys, places like Brazil that's now rated the 10th best economy in the world, so we can't call it a poor country. It's like fucking 200 countries, and it's number 10 that they rated it recently. I just seen. That being said, it's not a poor country, right? So if you come to Brazil, you guys date there, you will notice that there are a lot of women that say they want to be completely independent, which that sounds good until that mentality falls behind that. Versus if you were in Colombia or Paraguay or I wouldn't say Argentina, but somewhere like Peru, you'll notice a lot of women are looking for you to take them in and for you to be with them, which that sounds pretty good to me. I'd rather have a chick that's living with me than somebody that it's not natural for this whole independent women thing. It's just not natural. And women in first world countries, women that have their own thing. Like I heard Danny Flight say that 9s and 10s don't cook and clean and wash dishes. I could see that if she has money. But just because you're beautiful and poor, and especially if you're in a country where there's plenty of beautiful women and the men don't care about you being a 9, right? Those women will do traditional things like cook and clean and massage your feet. But I can tell you this, if you go to Montevideo, Uruguay, or you go to Santiago, Chile, like the women are nice, but I don't think they're going to be doing all those like domestic responsibilities and all that kind of stuff. Like I think they're going to be kind of like in the States where they're trying to share how it's just in the States. Like they don't want to do shit, man. They just want to show up. I couldn't do it. I can't. I can't. I can't. It's undoable. Well, I don't know how you guys are going to say. Also, if you want to get married, do not go to a first world country. Do not go to Canada or anywhere in Europe or United States, because I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to be wasting your time. You have a better shot at getting married to a third, second world considered country woman than you would in one of the most developed countries in the world. Okay? So let me know what you guys think. I would say that the hack to this is to realize that when you go to second and third world countries, you are in the upper class just off of making 50 grand a year, right? Which most Americans can do that, make 50 grand a year. But you have to understand that just because you're in the poor country does not mean you need to mess with the poor society. When you mess with poor women, you get poor results. She does not need to be rich, but she does not need to literally need you for every single thing in her entire life. Like, she needs to have some level of income. Some level of income. I don't care that you could probably take care of a chick in Colombia for $500 a month. That cheap price comes with cheap results. It comes with something. It's too good to be true, I'm telling you. Now, I'm not saying I need a woman to pay for my shit, because I don't. I take care of myself. But you get a way better result when you do have a chick that at least has the opportunity to offer to go half on the bill. Not that I need that, but I'm just saying. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's okay to date women from the favelas, or do you need to get a woman from the equivalent of suburbs, in Sao Paulo or somewhere real? Does she need to be from a really affluent family, of a daughter of a politician? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you found it informative or entertaining, it's $ at Austin Holloman on Cash App, PayPal, AustinHolloman@gmail.com. Or you give me a tip below the video that supports the content and keeps more content and research like this going on all around the world. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.